They say the devil hides in the details, and in this case, it was hiding in plain sight. An 11-year-old boy, Jayden-Lee, reported missing after school, a frantic mother claiming she had no airtime to call for help, a driver insisting he dropped the boy home, and a community left shattered when Jayden's lifeless body was found with injuries no one noticed at first. But here's what almost no one saw in those first crucial hours. Details so thin, so ordinary, that they slipped past even trained eyes. Details that could mean the difference between a tragic accident and something far darker. But before we dive into this, kindly subscribe to our channel if you believe in fighting for justice. We've just crossed 500 subscribers, all because of your support, and we need that same energy to reach 1,000, then 5,000, and then 10,000. So go ahead and drop your DNA on that subscribe button, because wherever you are, the day this vision is fulfilled, I will send my appreciation straight to you and drop where exactly you are watching from. Let's keep building this community that fights for justice together, and let's expose the evil hidden in everyday shadows together. Tonight, we take you inside the first hours of this unfolding tragedy. It was Tuesday evening when the missing person report was filed at Fleurhof. Officers, the mother, and family members began searching, led by her claim that she had no airtime to call the driver herself, relying on her mother to confirm if Jayden had been dropped home. At 3:30 p.m., he should have arrived. By 5 p.m., there was no sign of him. By 9 p.m., the family and police found themselves knocking on doors, questioning the transport driver, and facing conflicting stories. The security guards said they didn't see Jayden return, and the one who might have seen him had already left duty. It was chaos, confusion, and precious time slipping away. But even as they searched cars leaving the complex, the mother insisted she had to leave, telling them she was going to the police station, refusing to continue searching the vehicles. The question is, why? Why leave in the middle of the search for your missing child? And why did the security guard remember a moment so ordinary as her leaving to take a bath before heading to the station on the same night her son vanished? As investigators later found, Jayden's cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head, a detail hidden, overlooked, or ignored during the chaos, and only uncovered when the post-mortem was complete. No poison, no accidental fall, just a child, gone, with the truth buried under a flurry of statements and confusion. The post-mortem brought chilling clarity. Jaydon-Lee had not been poisoned. The toxicology and histology reports returned clean. Instead, the doctor found clear evidence of blunt force head trauma at the back of his head, a finding not visible to officers who first saw his lifeless body. It raised urgent questions. How did this happen? Where did it happen? And who was with him when it did? Before this grim discovery, police followed the mother's narrative. Her claim she had searched tirelessly, that she was with officers that night, knocking on doors, desperate for answers. Her affidavit, written in her own words, described a mother demanding action from police, blaming delays for her child's death. But beneath that affidavit's calm wording lay contradictions. She claimed she could not call the transport driver due to lack of airtime, yet she was in contact with her mother. She left in the middle of the vehicle searches, saying she needed to return to the police station, despite the urgency of that night. These small fractures in her account became pressure points for investigators, as the timeline she presented began to clash with statements from others, security officers, neighbors, and even her family. And in the most haunting part, that head injury, silent and unseen, told its own story. A story of violence. A story that no affidavit, no rushed exit, and no confusion could hide forever. As the investigation deepened, whispers in the Fleurhof community turned into angry conversations in WhatsApp groups and gated complex hallways. At first, neighbors viewed Tiffany as a grieving mother, seen pacing the complex, joining community patrols, and weeping openly for her missing son. But as police statements emerged, doubts crept in like a cold draft under a locked door. Some neighbors remembered her joining the search, but leaving early. Others questioned why she was urging police to search the driver's house, yet seemed less eager to search her own space thoroughly that night. The community felt betrayed, the collective grief shifting to suspicion. Meanwhile, the police themselves were under fire. Accusations of delayed response, refusal to enter certain flats without warrants, and dismissing early pleas to file a missing person report, all formed a cloud over the investigation. Tiffany's supporters claimed these failures cost Jaydon-Lee his life. Critics argued the system was flawed, but the evidence now pointed toward the mother herself. In the middle of this storm was Jaydon-Lee, a quiet, innocent child, whose only fault was trusting the adults around him. A child who deserved safety, who deserved a home free from fear, and who deserved justice. In the courtroom, the legal stakes could not have been higher. The state made a chilling comparison, likening this case to that of Josh Smith, the 6-year-old whose mother was convicted in a case that horrified the nation. Like Josh, Jaydon-Lee was a child whose life ended under suspicious circumstances. And like Josh's mother, Tiffany now stood accused of the unthinkable, the murder of her own child. Under South African law, Tiffany's charges fall under Schedule 5, which means the potential sentence, if convicted, could be life in prison. The court explained in clear terms, unless Tiffany could prove that the interests of justice permitted her release, she would remain behind bars until trial. Tiffany, however, did not waver in her claims of innocence. She told the court she was willing to face trial, that she was not a flight risk, and that her release would not endanger the community. She emphasized her commitment to prove her innocence, even expressing her intention to appoint a private investigator, because she no longer trusted the state's handling of the case. The courtroom felt heavy with tension. On one side, a grieving mother claiming she was wrongfully accused. On the other, a state determined to secure justice for a child whose life ended too soon. The world outside continued to debate. Was Tiffany Meek a mother caught in a tragic web of police failures and public outrage? Or was she hiding a dark truth that the justice system was finally ready to expose? As the hearing neared its end, the judge made the decision to adjourn the proceedings, granting the state time to carefully review Tiffany Meek's affidavit before the next step in this high-stakes case. Outside the court, the tension was as thick as the winter air. The Fleurhof community remained divided, some still seeing Tiffany as a grieving mother, betrayed by a flawed system, while others viewed her tears as a mask for something far darker. Within the family, the grief for Jaydon-Lee was unspoken but ever present, hanging like a shadow over every moment. The legal battle was only just beginning, and the looming question remained: was Tiffany Meek a mother wrongfully accused, fighting for justice in a system that failed her and her child? Or had the system, despite all its delays and missteps, finally cornered a killer hiding in plain sight? The next court date would not just be another legal formality. It would be a step toward the truth, whatever that truth may be. One thing is certain: in the search for justice for Jayden-Lee Meek, the eyes of the community, the family and the nation, will remain firmly fixed on Tiffany Meek, and on a justice system that must prove it can deliver accountability for the voiceless. This case is far from over. As the system prepares for its next move, so do we. Because Jaydon-Lee's story deserves answers, and countless other children deserve a world where their voices are heard, even when they're no longer here to speak. If you stand for justice for the voiceless, for children like Jaydon-Lee, and for truth that cuts through the noise, then this is your community. Subscribe now, so you don't miss the next chapter of this unfolding case. Drop a comment letting us know where you're watching from, because together across cities, countries, and time zones, we are building a community that refuses to look away. And as always, stay vigilant, stay compassionate, and stay informed.